As we step into a new era, the world is evolving faster than ever. We have access to more information than we ever could have imagined about ourselves, others, and even things we never thought we would know. But with that access comes a responsibility, one that requires us to discern what should be shared and what needs to remain within the sanctity of our own lives. In today's world, there's a growing expectation that we share everything, especially our personal relationships. Social media has made it so easy to post about every significant moment, from romantic dates to family gatherings and even arguments. It often feels like people are waiting for us to reveal every detail of our lives, eager for a glimpse into our connections with others. But here's the truth. Authenticity in relationships thrives in privacy. The more we expose our relationships to the public eye, the more we risk losing the essence of what makes them special. Relationships are not meant to be spectacles. They are bonds built on trust, mutual respect, and love. When we share too much, we can inadvertently create pressure to perform for an audience, leaving little room for genuine connection. We've all seen the photos and posts that seem to present a perfect life, but those snapshots don't tell the full story. What you see on social media is only one side of the coin, and it's often a curated version of reality. If you feel like your relationship must be validated by the number of likes, shares, or comments it receives, then you risk losing sight of the true meaning of the connection you share with that person. What's important to remember is that your relationship is yours. It doesn't need to be subject to the opinions of anyone outside of it. It deserves room to breathe, evolve, and go through its own ups and downs without feeling like it needs to meet external expectations. By keeping your personal relationship private, you're also creating a safe space for growth, conflict resolution, and intimacy. There are moments that should be kept between you and your loved one without any external influence or judgment. These are the moments when vulnerability can flourish, when you can be yourself without fear of being scrutinized. Protecting the privacy of your relationship ensures that it remains sacred, untainted by the pressures of comparison and external validation. In a society that often encourages oversharing, it's important to remember that the most intimate moments deserve a space where they can exist without being dissected by others. You don't need to broadcast every aspect of your relationship for it to be real, valuable, and meaningful. Instead, cherish the moments that are just between you and the person you love, and let them become the foundation upon which your connection is built. In recent years, the conversation surrounding mental health has shifted dramatically. People are more open about their struggles, which is an essential step in reducing stigma and seeking support. However, there is a fine line between creating awareness and oversharing the details of one's mental health journey. We live in an era where vulnerability is encouraged, but not all struggles need to be laid bare for the public to see. Mental health is deeply personal, and sharing intimate details about our emotional state or mental health challenges can sometimes do more harm than good. While it's important to seek help, to reach out to friends, family, or professionals, there is no obligation to publicize every aspect of your emotional experience for the world to see. Your mental health is sacred, and it should be handled with care. When you share too much about your mental health journey online, you risk inviting unsolicited advice, judgments, or opinions that don't serve you. Social media, for example, can be a space where people feel the pressure to perform for others. It's easy to get caught up in the need for external validation or sympathy, but your mental health is not something to be commodified or reduced to a series of posts. This can make your recovery or healing journey feel like a performance rather than a deeply personal process that requires space, time, and the right kind of support. It's also important to remember that not everyone in your circle will fully understand what you're going through. Sometimes, well-meaning people may give advice that isn't helpful or may unintentionally make you feel misunderstood. By keeping certain aspects of your mental health private, you protect yourself from additional emotional strain that may arise from people's well-meaning but potentially harmful comments. Another consideration is that mental health struggles can often feel like a roller coaster. Some days are better and others are harder. When we overshare during times of emotional turbulence, we may unintentionally reinforce negative or distressing narratives. This can affect how we view ourselves or how others perceive us, when the reality is that mental health is complex, fluid, and often requires patience and understanding. It's crucial to create boundaries around who gets to witness your healing. Only those who truly understand and respect your journey should have access to your vulnerability. By setting these boundaries, you give yourself the freedom to process emotions without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. You also create the necessary space for healing to take place, away from the noise of external opinions. Ultimately, you are the expert on your own mental health. You know what you need, when you need it, and who is best equipped to help you navigate through difficult times. It's okay to protect your peace and take the necessary steps to guard your emotional well-being. Sharing with the world should always be a choice, one made with intention, not obligation. In today's world, financial transparency has become a growing trend, often spurred by influencers and self-made millionaires who feel the need to share their wealth, their spending habits, and even their financial mistakes. While there's no harm in seeking financial advice or sharing insights into how to manage money wisely, there's a delicate line between being transparent and oversharing personal financial details. Your financial situation, from income to investments to debts, is inherently private. While many people may feel pressure to display their financial success or share every detail of their spending habits, doing so can expose you to unnecessary risks. Financial privacy is a form of protection from potential fraud, from unwanted opinions, and even from jealousy or resentment that can arise when others know too much about your financial standing. When you share details like the value of your home, your salary, or your savings, you open yourself up to comparisons and judgments. Someone may view your success with envy, or others may feel compelled to offer unsolicited financial advice based on what they think you should be doing with your money. These external pressures can often cloud your judgment or make you feel self-conscious about how you manage your finances. Moreover, there's a growing risk of identity theft and online fraud. In a world where data breaches and cybercrimes are increasingly common, exposing details about your financial situation online can make you vulnerable. Publicly sharing your credit card purchases, for example, can lead to your financial information being exposed or misused. Similarly, sharing your net worth or the amount of money you're investing in specific ventures can make you a target for scammers who prey on individuals with perceived wealth. In addition to the security risks, constantly broadcasting your financial choices can also interfere with your sense of autonomy. You may find yourself questioning your decisions based on how others view your spending or saving habits, even though you are the one who knows what is best for you. Money is a tool to help you build the life you desire, and while seeking advice is valuable, you do not need to justify every financial decision to the world. Your financial story is yours to write, and not everyone needs to be in the loop. It's important to have a select group of trusted individuals, mentors, financial advisors, or close family members who understand your financial goals and who can offer support when needed. But outside of that, your finances are an area of your life that should remain private. Only you truly understand the complexities of your financial journey, and sharing too much can invite stress, pressure, or even exploitation. Keeping your financial information private also allows you to define success on your own terms. Not every dollar you earn or every investment you make needs to be publicly celebrated or dissected. Financial independence and success look different for everyone. And by protecting your financial narrative, you free yourself from the need to compete with others or to present a curated image of prosperity. Lastly, privacy in your finances gives you the space to make mistakes and learn from them without the fear of judgment. Financial mistakes are an inevitable part of the journey to financial maturity. When we expose those mistakes to the public eye, we risk feeling defeated or disillusioned by the inevitable criticism that may come. Instead, by keeping your financial struggles private, you maintain the dignity and respect you deserve, allowing yourself room to grow and course correct as needed. In a world that thrives on external validation, there's often a temptation to make our spiritual practices visible to others, whether it's through social media posts about our meditation sessions, our religious rituals, or the books we're reading for our spiritual growth. But spirituality is a deeply personal and sacred experience, one that doesn't require an audience. The way you connect with your higher self, divine source, or whatever spiritual practice you follow is something that should remain intimate and private. Spirituality is not about showing others how connected you are or proving your commitment to a belief system. It's about what feels true to you, what nurtures your soul, and what aligns with your inner purpose. When we feel the need to share every prayer, every ritual, or every insight we gain, we risk reducing our spiritual journey to a performance. The real power in spirituality comes from deep personal reflection and communion with whatever it is you believe in, not from seeking approval or likes. By keeping your spiritual practices private, you allow space for growth and exploration. Spirituality often involves moments of doubt, questioning, and personal transformation. Moments that are vulnerable and should not be shared prematurely. Just like any personal journey, your spiritual path requires room for introspection and solitude. If you're constantly broadcasting your practices, you might feel pressure to conform to others' expectations or become distracted by their opinions, instead of fully engaging in your own process of discovery. Another important aspect of keeping spiritual practices private is protecting them from the potential for judgment or comparison. Spirituality in all its forms is diverse, and it's essential to recognize that there is no one right way to practice. When we expose our practices to the world, we risk inviting criticism from those who may not understand or resonate with our beliefs. This judgment can erode our confidence in our own path and create unnecessary doubt. The connection you have with your spiritual beliefs should be free from the interference of others' perceptions, enabling you to grow and evolve on your terms. Additionally, spiritual practices are about cultivating a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. They are often linked to moments of peace, tranquility, and inner transformation that don't need to be witnessed by others. In many religious and spiritual traditions, privacy is seen as a virtue, a way of cultivating sincerity and devotion. When we share too much of our practices, we may inadvertently begin to perform for others rather than nurture our authentic self. Sometimes, it's in the quiet, unseen moments of spiritual practice that we experience the most profound shifts. Finally, spirituality is not something that can or should be compared. It's unique to each person and deeply rooted in individual experience. When we put our spiritual practices out into the public domain, we open ourselves to the trap of comparison. Someone else's spiritual journey may look different from yours, and their practices might not resonate with you. However, the moment we start comparing, we risk losing sight of our own path and diverting our focus from what truly nourishes our soul. Privacy in spirituality allows us to remain grounded in our own beliefs, practices, and values without the external noise of comparison and judgment. By guarding the sanctity of our spiritual journey, we protect the space we need to deepen our connection with the divine, with ourselves, and with the world in ways that feel authentic. Spirituality isn't something to be shared for the sake of showing others how evolved or enlightened we are. Instead, it's a sacred, intimate practice that deserves the privacy to grow, shift, and evolve according to our own needs and understanding. In the age of constant networking and sharing every milestone, it can be tempting to reveal every detail of your career aspirations and goals. From the next promotion to the dream job you're working toward, the natural inclination might be to share your plans with others to receive feedback or validation. However, your career journey is a deeply personal one, and there's wisdom in holding certain ambitions close to your chest. When we share too much about our professional ambitions, we risk oversaturating our environment with expectations that may not align with our ultimate goals. People may start projecting their own opinions and suggestions onto our plans, shaping our career path based on their perspectives rather than our own. Not everyone will understand or support your vision. In fact, some people may even question your choices, or doubts might creep in from external criticism, creating unnecessary stress and making you second guess your direction. Your career is a reflection of your passions, your talents, and your purpose, and it's not for others to define or dissect. Moreover, broadcasting your ambitions too early can sometimes work against you. When you tell everyone about the job you want, the project you're working on, or the company you aim to start, the pressure to succeed skyrockets. Rather than focusing on the actual steps to reach your goals, you may become overly concerned with other people's perceptions, their expectations, and their advice. This can take you off course, distracting you from what's truly important, your own growth and progress. Keeping your career plans private also allows you to enjoy the quiet work of building and creating. Professional achievements are often the result of consistent, sometimes unnoticed effort. If you share too much too soon, you may find yourself in a position where your success feels less authentic because it has already been discussed, analyzed, or critiqued in public forums. Working behind the scenes, away from the external noise, allows you to remain focused and grounded in the steps you're taking to build your career. Another benefit of keeping your professional ambitions to yourself is that it provides protection from potential setbacks. In the world of business and professional growth, setbacks are inevitable. Whether it's a failed interview, a project that didn't work out, or a deal that fell through. Sharing your plans too openly can make these setbacks feel like public failures. Keeping these aspects private allows you to deal with challenges and disappointments without the added pressure of explaining them to others, letting you handle them with grace and resilience and move forward without feeling exposed. Ambition is a powerful force, but it can also be fragile. When you share every step of your career journey, you may inadvertently open yourself up to comparisons with others, something that can be discouraging. Your professional path doesn't need to match someone else's timeline or successes, and by keeping your plans private, you protect yourself from unnecessary comparisons that might cause you to question your own progress. Lastly, by keeping your ambitions private, you create space for true, authentic surprises. When others don't know your goals, they can't predict your next move or judge you for it. When you finally achieve that promotion, launch your own business, or land your dream role, the element of surprise becomes a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. People won't be watching and waiting for you to prove yourself. Instead, they will be in awe of your quiet determination and the unexpected success that comes from it. In a world where oversharing has become a norm, protecting the privacy of your career goals helps you stay focused on your purpose and gives you the freedom to achieve without the weight of unnecessary expectations. Your professional life is your own, and by keeping your ambitions under wraps, you retain control over your journey, allowing it to unfold in a way that feels true to you. Personal failures and setbacks are inevitable. Every single person experiences them at some point in their life, no matter how successful or accomplished they may seem. These moments of struggle, disappointment, and failure often hold powerful lessons, but they also come with a heavy burden of vulnerability. In our increasingly connected world, where people feel a pressure to be constantly on, it can feel like we are expected to broadcast every success. However, the same expectation often doesn't apply to the more difficult, less glamorous aspects of life. Our personal failures and setbacks. There is a temptation to share every moment of our personal struggles, especially in the face of challenges that feel overwhelming, whether it's a career failure, a financial setback, or a relationship that didn't work out. The instinct to seek validation or sympathy from others can be powerful. Social media has only amplified this desire for connection, where many people share their lowest points in an effort to reach out for support or to make others feel less alone. However, this openness, while well-intentioned, can also lead to harm. Firstly, not every failure needs to be aired out for public consumption. There is a delicate balance between seeking support and preserving your dignity. When we share our struggles with the world, it often feels like we're asking for reassurance, seeking comfort from others who may not truly understand our journey. Although there's no shame in asking for help, there's also something deeply personal about the way we process our failures. Sharing them with too many people, or even with the wrong people, can muddy the waters of what should be a private healing process. Personal setbacks are often more than just a surface-level inconvenience. They are deeply emotional and personal experiences. Every failure is tied to a unique set of circumstances, feelings, and personal reflections. When we open up too much about these struggles, we risk oversimplifying them or even unintentionally turning them into a public spectacle. A failed business venture, for example, is far more complex than just a setback. It's a result of countless decisions, lessons, and emotions that cannot be fully conveyed in a tweet or a social media post. By keeping such setbacks private, we are giving ourselves the space to process them in a way that feels authentic and healing, without the need for validation or the fear of judgment. Moreover, when we share our failures with others, we often invite unsolicited advice or unwanted opinions. While advice can be helpful, it can also be overwhelming and confusing, especially when it comes from people who may not fully understand the intricacies of our situation. Our failure is unique to us, and the way we choose to handle it should be just as unique. In some cases, people may feel the need to fix our failures, offering advice or solutions that don't align with what we actually need. Sometimes what we need most is time, reflection, and self-compassion, not external solutions or judgments. By keeping our setbacks private, we protect ourselves from the noise of others' well-meaning but often unhelpful suggestions. Another reason to keep personal failures private is the emotional toll that can come with airing our vulnerabilities. The world we live in is full of judgment, and when we expose our failures to the public, we risk being met with criticism or harsh opinions. This kind of feedback can be incredibly damaging to our self-esteem, especially when we're already feeling defeated. Publicly sharing failures can open the door for others to project their own insecurities, fears, or judgments onto us. These external voices can make the experience of failure feel even more isolating and painful. Additionally, personal setbacks can often lead to deep introspection. Failure has a way of revealing our weaknesses, challenging our beliefs, and testing our resilience. It can be an uncomfortable and humbling experience, but it is also an opportunity for growth. When we keep our failures private, we allow ourselves the space to fully reflect, learn, and grow from them. This personal growth may take time, and we need the space to make sense of our emotions, take responsibility where necessary, and adjust our actions moving forward. It's often through this quiet reflection and private work that we are able to emerge stronger and more resilient. Something that is difficult to achieve when we are constantly seeking validation or approval from others. Lastly, not every failure needs to be shared for others to understand or empathize with us. Sometimes our setbacks are deeply personal, and the lessons we learn from them are not meant to be shared for the sake of others. Our journey of recovery from failure can be a quiet, private one, and that is okay. It's important to allow ourselves to heal without feeling the need to explain, justify, or seek sympathy from others. The road to success is often paved with failure, but each individual's path is uniquely their own. By keeping our setbacks to ourselves, we reclaim the power to shape our recovery, to learn from our mistakes on our own terms, and to rise again without the weight of public opinion. Personal failures and setbacks may be difficult, but they are also transformative. They challenge us, teach us, and ultimately shape us into more resilient individuals. And while it's tempting to share our struggles with the world, it's important to remember that some parts of our journey, particularly our failures, are meant to be kept private. These moments belong to us, and we alone should determine when and how we share them.